the head of the table sits Lord Voldemort. He is distinctively reptilian, his skin pale, his eyes red and slit-pupiled. He is petting his massive snake, Nagini. Snape brings news. He tells Voldemort that Harry Potter is being moved from his safe house at number 4 Privet Drive on the coming Saturday at nightfall. This contradicts the information Yaxley has gathered. Yaxley believes, based on information from the Auror Dawlish, that Harry will not be moved until the 30th. But Snape is firm. He claims the source of his information is solid. He reveals that the Order of the Phoenix intends to move Harry before he turns 17, using a false trail to confuse the Ministry. This is a crucial detail. The Ministry of Magic has been infiltrated, but it has not yet fallen. Pew's Thickness, the head of the Department of Magical Law Enforcement, has been placed under the Imperious Curse by Yaxley. The Death Eaters are effectively running the law, but they are doing it quietly. Voldemort is pleased with Snape, but he has a problem. He can no longer use his own wand against Harry Potter. The twin cores of their wands prevent them from fighting each other properly. Voldemort demands a volunteer to surrender their wand. The table is frozen in fear. Eventually, Voldemort mocks Lucius Malfoy. Lucius has fallen far from grace. He looks terrified and sick. Under pressure, Lucius gives his elm wand to Voldemort. Voldemort snaps the wand to test its strength. It is a humiliating display of dominance. Then the figure rotating above the table wakes up. It is a woman, Charity Burbage. She was the professor of Muggle studies at Hogwarts. She is terrified. She sees Snape and begs him. She says, "Severus, please." Snape looks back at her, his face a mask of indifference. Voldemort addresses the table. He mocks Charity Burbage for teaching that Muggles are not so different from wizards, for suggesting that wizards should mate with them. The Death Eaters laugh. Voldemort raises Lucius Malfoy's wand. With a flash of green light and the words Avada Kedavra, Charity Burbage falls dead onto the table. Voldemort turns to his snake, Nagini, and says simply, "Dinner." The screen fades to black on that horror. We cut to number 4, Privet Drive. Harry Potter is packing his trunk for the last time. He is digging through the debris of his 6 years at Hogwarts. He finds his old spellbooks, his robes, and a shard of a magic mirror given to him by his late godfather, Sirius Black. When Harry looks into the shard, he sees a flash of bright blue eye, just for a second. He thinks it is his imagination, perhaps Dumbledore's eye, but Dumbledore is dead. Downstairs, the atmosphere is tense. The Dursleys are leaving. To ensure their safety from Voldemort, once the protective charms on the house break when Harry turns 17, the Order of the Phoenix has arranged for them to go into hiding. Vernon Dursley, however, is being difficult. He thinks this is a plot to steal his house. Harry tries to explain, for the dozenth time, that Voldemort will torture them to find Harry if they stay. Finally, 2 members of the Order arrive to escort them, Daedalus Diggle and Hestia Jones. This is where the book offers a moment of redemption that was largely cut from other retellings. As the Dursleys prepare to leave, Dudley Dursley, Harry's bullying cousin, stands still. He doesn't want to get in the car. Dudley asks, simply, "Where is Harry going?" He is confused why Harry isn't coming with them. Vernon tries to dismiss Harry, calling him a waste of space. Dudley says, "I don't think you are a waste of space." It is a clumsy, awkward sentence, but coming from Dudley, it is monumental. Dudley walks over and holds out a massive hand. Harry takes it. Dudley admits that Harry saved his life against the Dementors 2 years ago. It is a goodbye that acknowledges they are cousins, if not friends. Petunia Dursley, Harry's aunt, stops at the door. She looks at Harry. For a moment, she seems on the verge of speaking, of acknowledging that her sister, Harry's mother, died, and that she knows what Harry is facing. But she stops. Her face hardens. She walks out the door without a word. Harry is alone in the house. He wanders through the empty rooms. He waits. The silence is broken by a roar of engines. The Order of the Phoenix arrives in the backyard. It is not just a few people. It is a small army. Hagrid is there, riding the massive flying motorbike that once belonged to Sirius Black. Mad-Eye Moody is barking orders. Hermione, Ron, Bill Weasley, Fleur de Lacquer, Fred, George, Tonks, Lupin, Kingsley Shacklebolt, and Mundungus Fletcher are all crowding into the kitchen. The plan has changed. Moody explains that the Ministry has made it a punishable offense to connect this house to the Flu network, or to place a portkey here. They cannot apparate Harry out, because he still has the trace on him. The Ministry detects magic around under 17 wizards. If Harry uses magic, or if magic is used around him, the Ministry will know, and the Death Eaters will find them. So they must fly. But there is a twist. Moody pulls out a flask of Polyjuice potion. It looks like mud. He asks for some of Harry's hair. Harry realizes the plan immediately and refuses. He does not want 6 of his friends to risk their lives by impersonating him, but he is overruled. Ron, Hermione, Fred, George, Fleur, and Mundungus Fletcher all drink the potion. The transformation is grotesque. We see 6 people bubbling and contorting until there are 7 Harry Potters standing in the kitchen. They all dress in identical clothes, jeans, sweatshirts, and glasses. They pair up. Each Potter is assigned a protector. Harry, the real Harry, is paired with Hagrid. They will ride in the sidecar of the motorbike. Ron goes with Tonks on a broomstick. Hermione goes with Kingsley Shacklebolt on a Thistral. Fred goes with his father, Arthur Weasley. George goes with Remus Lupin. Fleur goes with her fiancé, Bill Weasley, on a Thistral. Mundungus Fletcher, who looks terrified and does not want to be there, is paired with Mad-Eye Moody. They head out into the garden. The engines rev. The Thistrals stretch their wings. Moody gives the signal. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, they kick off into the air. Immediately, they are surrounded. At least 30 hooded figures are waiting in the clouds. Screams and green light explode everywhere. It is an ambush. Snape was right. They knew Harry was moving tonight. The air becomes a battlefield. Hagrid twists the motorbike, hitting a button that shoots a wall of dragon fire from the exhaust. It gives them a split second of cover. Harry is squeezed into the sidecar, his owl Hedwig in her cage between his knees. Curses fly past them. One curse, a killing curse meant for Harry, hits the cage. Hedwig falls to the bottom of the cage, motionless. She is dead. Harry does not have time to mourn. He shoves the cage down to the floor of the sidecar as Hagrid dives. Death Eaters are swarming them. They are trying to identify the real Harry. Stan Shunpike, the conductor of the night bus, is flying a broom nearby. His face is blank. He is clearly under the imperious curse. He raises his wand at Harry. Harry instinctively shouts Expelliarmus. A jet of red light hits Stan, blasting his wand away. Stan does not die. He just falls back. But this act of mercy betrays Harry. The Death Eaters shout, "It is him. It is the real one." Other Death Eaters might have stunned Stan or killed him to clear the path. Only Harry Potter would disarm an enemy in a lethal dogfight. Voldemort is summoned. Harry feels his scar burn white hot. He knows Voldemort is coming. And then he sees him, flying through the smoke without a broom, like a wraith. Voldemort raises Lucius Malfoy's wand. Hagrid, in a desperate move, leaps off the bike onto a Death Eater's broom, tackling him. The bike is falling. Harry is alone in the sidecar, plummeting. He tries to aim his wand at Voldemort, but the pain in his scar is blinding him. Then something impossible happens. Harry's wand, the Holly and Phoenix Feather wand, acts on its own. Harry does not utter a spell. He does not even will it. The wand spins in his hand, absorbs a jet of green light, and shoots a stream of golden fire back at Voldemort. Lucius Malfoy's wand shatters in Voldemort's hand. Voldemort screams in fury. The connection breaks. The motorbike crashes into the mud of a pond. Harry crawls out of the wreckage. Hagrid is lying nearby, silent. Harry thinks Hagrid is dead. He stumbles toward him, but blackness takes him. Harry wakes up in a strange room. His parents, Ted and Andromeda Tonks, are there. Hagrid is alive. He survived the crash. They patch Harry up, but they have to move. They use a portkey, an old hairbrush, to transport to the burrow, the Weasley home. When they arrive at the burrow, Mrs. Weasley is waiting. She is frantic. Harry and Hagrid are the first to return. They wait in the kitchen, watching the clock hands that represent the family members. Lupin and George arrive next. But something is wrong. Lupin is carrying George. George is covered in blood. One side of his head is a mess. Lupin drags Harry into the kitchen and pins him against the wall. He demands to know what creature sat in the corner of his office at Hogwarts during Harry's 3rd year. It is a security check. Harry gasps. A Grindylow in a tank. Lupin releases him. He explains they were betrayed. The Death Eaters knew exactly when they were leaving. They tend to George. He has lost an ear. It was cut off by the dark curse Sectum Sempra. It cannot be grown back. When George wakes up, he looks at his weeping mother and Fred and cracks a joke. He says he feels saint-like because he is holy. Holey, even in tragedy. The twins are the twins. Slowly, the others return. Hermione and Kingsley land. Bill and Fleur arrive. Mr. Weasley and Fred land. But one pair is missing. Bill Weasley breaks the news. Mad Eye Moody is dead. Bill saw it happen. Mundungus Fletcher panicked when he saw Voldemort. He disapparated, leaving Moody completely exposed. Voldemort hit Moody with a killing curse right in the face. Moody fell from his broom. His body was not recovered. The mood in the burrow is heavy with grief. They raise a toast to Alistair Moody. Harry feels guilty. He feels responsible. He walks out into the garden to get away from them. He sees a vision through Voldemort's eyes. Voldemort is torturing Ollivander, the wand maker. Voldemort is furious that Lucius's wand failed. He wants to know why Harry's wand acted on its own. Ollivander does not know. Harry snaps back to reality. He is standing in the garden of the burrow. The war has truly begun. He has lost his owl, his protector, and his sense of safety. And he still has no idea how to find the Horcruxes. We return to the burrow. The air is thick with tension and the smell of Mrs. Weasley's cooking. Harry feels trapped. He wants to leave to find the Horcruxes, but he has no plan, and Ron and Hermione refuse to let him go alone. Mrs. Weasley, desperate to keep them safe and stop them from leaving, keeps them busy with preparations for Bill and Fleur's wedding. She separates Harry, Ron, and Hermione as much as possible to prevent them from planning, but they manage to find a moment. Ron reveals his preparations. He takes Harry to the attic. There, wearing Ron's old pajamas, is the family ghoul, but the ghoul looks different. It is covered in blisters and pustules. Ron explains that his father helped him transfigure the ghoul to look like Ron, with a severe case of spattergroit. Spattergroit is a highly contagious magical disease. When Ron fails to return to Hogwarts, the Weasleys will claim he is dangerously ill in the attic. The Ministry inspectors will not want to get close enough to check. It is a grim but brilliant cover story. July 31st arrives. It is Harry's 17th birthday. By wizarding law, he is now an adult. The trace is broken. He can perform magic without the Ministry tracking him. He wakes up to gifts. Ron gives him a book on how to charm witches. Mrs. Weasley gives him a watch that belonged to her brother Fabian Pruett, a hero who died fighting Death Eaters in the First War. It is a traditional coming-of-age gift. Harry is deeply moved, but the celebration is interrupted. Rufus Scrimgeour, the Minister of Magic, arrives at the burrow. He looks like an old lion, battle-scarred and weary. He is accompanied by Percy Weasley, who stands awkwardly in the background, still estranged from his family. Scrimgeour demands a private meeting with Harry, Ron, and Hermione. They sit in the garden. Scrimgeour is not there to wish Harry a happy birthday. He is there to release the contents of Albus Dumbledore's will. Dumbledore died over a month ago. Scrimgeour admits the Ministry has been holding the will to examine the objects Dumbledore left behind. They suspect the objects might be dark artifacts or secret messages. But under the decree for justifiable confiscation, they can only hold them for 31 days. The time is up. Scrimgeour reads from the parchment. To Ronald Bilious Weasley, Dumbledore leaves his deluminator. It looks like a silver cigarette lighter. When Ron clicks it, it sucks all the light from the garden lamps. When he clicks it again, the balls of light float back to their sources. Scrimgeour asks why Dumbledore left this to Ron. Ron has no idea. To Hermione Jean Granger, Dumbledore leaves his personal copy of the Tales of Beedle the Bard. It is an ancient book of children's stories written in runes. Hermione is tearful. Scrimgeour suspects it contains a code, but Hermione says she is just an avid reader. To Harry James Potter, Dumbledore leaves the snitch he caught in his first ever Quidditch match. Scrimgeour hands Harry the tiny golden ball. Harry notices writing appearing on the skin of the snitch. It says, "I open at the close." Scrimgeour does not see the writing because snitches possess flesh memories, They only react to the first person who touched them. Harry did not catch this snitch with his hand. He almost swallowed it. So he presses his mouth to it. Nothing happens. Scrimgeour is frustrated. There is one last item for Harry. The sword of Godric Gryffindor. But Scrimgeour refuses to hand it over. He claims the sword was not Dumbledore's to give. It is a historical artifact that belongs to Hogwarts. Harry argues that the sword presents itself to any worthy Gryffindor, so it should be his. Scrimgeour leans in. He asks why Dumbledore would want Harry to have the sword. He suspects Harry is meant to use it to kill Voldemort. Harry snaps. He tells Scrimgeour that the Ministry should be busy fighting Voldemort, not intercepting wish fulfillment from dead men. Scrimgeour loses his temper. He accuses Harry of arrogance. He echoes the words he said the previous Christmas, asking if Harry is Dumbledore's man through and through. Harry says yes. Yes, I am. Scrimgeour leaves in a fury. The trio is left with a lighter, a book of fairy tales, and a golden ball. They have no idea what they mean. The next day is the wedding, August 1st. The orchard is transformed by a massive marquee. To keep Harry safe, he uses Polyjuice Potion to disguise himself as a red-headed muggle boy from the local village, pretending to be a cousin named Barney Weasley. The wedding is beautiful, but the undercurrents are dark. Victor Krum, the Bulgarian seeker, is a guest. He spots Xenophilius Lovegood, Luna's father. Xenophilius is wearing a strange symbol on a chain around his neck. It looks like a triangular eye. Krum is furious. He tells Harry, who he thinks is Barney, that the symbol is the mark of Gellert Grindelwald. Grindelwald was the dark wizard Dumbledore defeated in 1945. Krum says Grindelwald carved that mark into the walls of Durmstrang School. Krum wants to duel Xenophilius for wearing it. Harry is confused. Why would Luna's dad wear a dark wizard symbol? Later, Harry sits with Elphias Doge, Dumbledore's oldest friend, and great Aunt Muriel, a gossiping, 100-year-old Weasley relative. They start talking about Dumbledore. Muriel tears apart Dumbledore's reputation. She reveals that Dumbledore had a sister, Ariana, who was hidden away. Muriel claims Ariana was a squib and that the family was ashamed of her. She says Dumbledore's mother, Kendra, died mysteriously. And then, at the funeral, Dumbledore's brother Aberforth broke Albus's nose. Harry is shocked. He thought he knew Dumbledore. He realizes he knew nothing about the man's past. Muriel drops another bombshell. She says the Dumbledore family lived in Godric's Hollow. That is the same village where Harry was born and where his parents died. Dumbledore never told Harry they shared a hometown. Harry feels betrayed. The sun sets. The party is in full swing. Hermione is dancing with Krum. Ron is watching jealously. Suddenly, a silver lynx appears in the middle of the dance floor. It is a patroness. It speaks with the deep, slow voice of Kingsley Shacklebolt. The Ministry has fallen. Scrimgeour is dead. They are coming. Silence falls over the tent. Then chaos. Spells cut through the canvas. People scream and run. Harry draws his wand. He finds Ron and Hermione instantly. As guests disapparate in panic, Hermione grabs Harry and Ron. She turns on her heel. They are squeezed through darkness. They land on a busy street, gasping for breath. They are in London, Tottenham Court Road. It is a jarring transition. One moment they were at a magical wedding. Now they are surrounded by muggles, buses, and neon lights. Hermione leads them down the street. She has prepared for this. She pulls clothes out of her tiny beaded bag. The bag has an undetectable extension charm on it. It holds everything: clothes, books, a tent, potions. They duck into a small, greasy cafe to regroup. They order cappuccinos. The place is empty, except for 2 workmen in the corner. Harry feels a prickling on his neck. The 2 workmen stand up. They pull wands. It is Dalohav and Roll, Death Eaters. Harry shouts stupefy. The spell misses. A curse shatters the table. A battle erupts in the tiny cafe. Ron is slow to react, but Hermione is fast. Harry hits Dalohav with a body-bind curse. Roll fires another curse, but Harry stuns him. The 2 Death Eaters lie on the floor. The waitress is screaming. Hermione uses a memory charm, Obliviate, on her so she forgets the fight. Now they have a problem. How did the Death Eaters find them so fast? They realize Harry still has the trace on him, but the trace doesn't work for location unless he casts a spell. Then Ron realizes. He said Voldemort's name back in the cafe. In the book, they do not realize the name is taboo yet, but they are suspicious. They decide they cannot stay in the open. They need a safe house. The only place left is number 12, Grimmauld Place, Sirius Black's old house. They fly there under the invisibility cloak. They land on the doorstep, but they are terrified. Snape knows the secret of this house. If Snape is a Death Eater, he could have told Voldemort how to get in. They step into the hallway. It is dark and dusty. Harry holds out his wand. He feels a rush of cold air. Something moves at the end of the hall. A tongue-tying curse hits him. He gags, his tongue rolling up. Then, a dusty figure of Dumbledore explodes from the darkness, rushing at them. It is not real. It is a defensive spell Mad Eye Moody set up to keep Snape out. They break the curse. They realize the house is empty. Snape has not been here. They are safe for tonight. They sleep in the drawing room, huddled together. Harry stares at the ceiling. He thinks about the wedding. He thinks about Dumbledore's secrets. He feels angry. Dumbledore left him a mission to kill Voldemort, but he didn't leave him a map. He left him riddles. The next morning, Harry explores the house. He goes into the room that belonged to Sirius's brother, Regulus Arcturus Black. On the door is a sign: "Do not enter without the express permission of Regulus Arcturus Black." Harry sees the initials, RB. Harry freezes. He pulls the fake locket from his pocket, the one Dumbledore died to retrieve. The note inside was signed R.A.B. Harry realizes the answer has been under his nose the whole time. Regulus Black was the one who stole the real Horcrux. Regulus died trying to destroy Voldemort. They search Regulus's room. They find plenty of newspaper clippings about Voldemort, but no locket. Then Hermione remembers. 2 years ago, when they were cleaning the house, they threw away a heavy, golden locket that no one could open. It was in the glass display case in the drawing room. They run downstairs. The cabinet is empty. They summon Creature, the house elf. Creature appears with a crack. He looks old and miserable. Harry asks him about the locket. Creature begins to cry. He tells them a story that changes everything. This is Chapter 10, Creature's Tale. Creature explains that Master Regulus came to him years ago. Regulus had joined the Death Eaters. Voldemort needed an elf to test the defenses of his hiding place. Regulus volunteered Creature. Voldemort took Creature to a cave by the sea. He forced Creature to drink a potion of despair. When the basin was empty, Voldemort put a locket inside and refilled it. He left Creature there to die, to be dragged underwater by the Inferi, the corpses in the lake. But Voldemort made a mistake. He forgot that house elf magic is different from wizard magic. When Regulus called him, Creature was able to apparate out of the cave, escaping the Inferi. When Regulus found out what happened, he changed. He turned against Voldemort. He ordered Creature to take him back to the cave. But this time, Regulus drank the potion. He swapped the lockets. He ordered Creature to take the real locket, go home, and destroy it. He ordered Creature to leave him there. Regulus Black was dragged underwater by the Inferi. He died to bring Voldemort down. Creature weeps. He explains that he failed his master. He tried everything to destroy the locket. He threw it in the fire. He stomped on it. It would not break. Harry asks where the locket is now. Creature says that Mundungus Fletcher stole it. When Sirius died and the house was left empty, Mundungus came and took valuables to sell. He took the locket. Harry is furious. The Horcrux is out there, sold to a stranger. But Harry does something Dumbledore never did. He looks at Creature with pity. He realizes Creature has been loyal to the family in his own twisted way. Harry gives Creature the fake locket. He tells Creature it belonged to Regulus. Creature is overcome with emotion. He clutches the locket. Harry gives him an order. Find Mundungus Fletcher. Bring him here. Creature bows low and vanishes with a crack. Now they wait. Days turn into weeks. They are hiding in the heart of London. They watch the ministry employees walking to work from the windows. One day, Lupin visits. He brings news. The ministry is fully under Voldemort's control. Harry is undesirable number 1. There is a 10,000 galleon price on his head. Muggle-borns are being rounded up. The official line is that Muggle-borns steal magic from real wizards. It is a genocide in slow motion. Lupin offers to come with them. He wants to help, but Harry notices something. Lupin is wearing a wedding ring. He married Tonks. Harry asks about her. Lupin says she is pregnant. Harry is horrified. He asks why Lupin would leave his pregnant wife to go on a suicide mission. Lupin argues that he is a werewolf, an outcast, that the child will be ashamed of him. He calls himself a danger to his own family. Harry explodes. He calls Lupin a coward. He yells that parents should never leave their children. He is thinking of his own parents, James and Lily, who died to protect him. He tells Lupin to go back to Tonks. Lupin draws his wand. He blasts Harry backward against the wall. Then he turns and leaves the house. Ron and Hermione are shocked. They think Harry went too far, but Harry knows he had to do it. Lupin needed to hear the truth. Finally, Creature returns. He has Mundungus Fletcher in a headlock. Dobby the house elf is with them too, helping. They interrogate Mundungus. He admits he stole the locket. He says he was selling things in Diagon Alley when a ministry woman approached him. She demanded a license. He didn't have one. She saw the locket and liked it. She took it as a bribe to let him go. Harry asks who the woman was. He describes her. Short, like a toad, a pink bow in her hair. Harry feels a surge of cold hatred. He knows exactly who has the Horcrux. Dolores Umbridge, the woman who tortured Harry in his 5th year. The woman who hates half-breeds and muggle-borns. She is now a high-ranking official in the new regime, and she is wearing a piece of Voldemort's soul around her neck. There is only one thing to do. They have to break into the Ministry of Magic. The plan to infiltrate the Ministry of Magic is born out of desperation. For a month, the trio spies on the Ministry entrance. They watch from under the invisibility cloak, learning the habits of the employees. They need 3 targets, 3 people who work inside, who they can impersonate using Polyjuice Potion. They choose carefully. Mafalda Hopkirk, an assistant in the improper use of magic office. Reg Cattermole, a frantic man from magical maintenance. And Albert Runcorn, a tall, imposing man who seems to be feared by everyone else. On the morning of September 2nd, they make their move. Hermione hits the real employees with sleeping drafts and hides them in a loading bay. They pluck the hairs. They drink the potion. Hermione becomes Mafalda Hopkirk. Ron becomes Reg Cattermole. Harry becomes the towering Albert Runcorn. They enter the Ministry through the public toilets, flushing themselves down the pan to arrive in the atrium. The Ministry has changed. The golden fountain of magical brethren is gone. In its place stands a colossal statue of black stone. It depicts a witch and a wizard sitting on ornate thrones. But when Harry looks closer, he realizes the thrones are not made of wood or stone. They are made of piles of naked human bodies, muggles, their faces twisted in pain, supporting the weight of the wizards above. Engraved on the base of the statue are 3 words: Magic is might. It is a terrifying declaration of the New World Order. They try to stick together, but the plan falls apart almost immediately. Yaxley, the Death Eater, spots Ron. He thinks Ron is Reg Cattermole. Yaxley is furious because it is raining inside his office. He orders Ron to fix it immediately, or Cattermole's wife will suffer. Ron panics. He has no idea how to stop magical rain. He rushes off to the elevators. Hermione is then pulled away by Umbridge herself. Umbridge thinks Hermione is Mafalda Hopkirk. She needs a stenographer for the court hearings. Hermione gives Harry a terrified look and follows Umbridge down into the depths. Harry is left alone. He decides to search Umbridge's office. He finds it on the 1st floor. The office is a sickening contrast to the rest of the Dark Ministry. It is decorated in pink, with lace covers and plates with moving kittens. It is exactly as it was at Hogwarts, but there is something else. On the door, there is a small spy hole. Harry looks through it and recoils. A bright blue electric eye is swiveling madly, stuck in the wood. It is Mad Eye Moody's magical eye. Umbridge has stuck it in her door to spy on her employees. Harry is overcome with rage. He cannot leave it there. It is a desecration of his friend's memory. He uses his wand to gouge the eye out of the wood. He grabs the eye, but the action triggers a silent alarm. He knows he has limited time. He searches the desk, but the locket is not there. He finds a file on Arthur Weasley, labeled Blood Traitor, tracked. He realizes the whole Weasley family is being watched. Harry leaves the office, invisible under the cloak, carrying Moody's eye. He heads down to the courtrooms. The lifts are clattering. He sees Ron. Ron is soaking wet but smiling. He fixed the rain, but they cannot leave yet. Hermione is still down there. Harry and Ron go down to the lowest level. The temperature drops. The lights are dim. The air is freezing. Dementors are here. They are guarding the courtroom. The air is full of despair. Harry feels the cold deep in his bones. He walks into the dungeon. It is the same courtroom where Harry was tried for using magic 3 years ago. Now, it is a kangaroo court. Dolor's Umbridge sits on a high podium, flanked by Yaxley. Hermione is sitting below them, taking notes, looking pale and sick. In the center of the room, a terrifying scene is unfolding. Mary Cattermole, the wife of the man Ron is impersonating, sits in the chair. She is crying. She is being accused of stealing magic. Umbridge smiles her toad-like smile. She asks Mrs. Cattermole where she got her wand. Mrs. Cattermole says she bought it from Ollivander when she was 11. Umbridge claims wands choose only witches and wizards, and since Mrs. Cattermole has Muggle parents, she must have stolen the wand from a real wizard. It is a lie so absurd, so evil, it makes Harry's blood boil. Then he sees it, resting on Umbridge's chest, gleaming in the dim light, is the heavy gold locket. The Salazar Slytherin locket. Umbridge leans forward. She claims the locket is a family heirloom. She says the S engraved on it stands for Selwyn, one of the sacred 28 pure blood families. She is using Voldemort's Horcrux to bolster her own pure blood credentials. Harry has heard enough. From beneath the invisibility cloak, he steps forward. He says loudly, "That is a lie." Umbridge freezes. She looks around. Who said that? Harry pulls off the cloak. He is still disguised as Runcorn, but he doesn't care. He raises his wand. He shouts "Stupefy." A jet of red light hits Umbridge in the chest. She is blasted backward, unconscious. The locket slides sideways. Chaos erupts. Yaxley draws his wand, but Harry stuns him too. Hermione drops her quill and runs to Umbridge. She tears the locket from Umbridge's neck. But now the Dementors are moving. They sense the emotion. They swoop down. The cold is paralyzing. Mrs. Cattermole screams. Harry tries to cast a Patronus, but wearing the locket and being in this place of evil makes it hard. His wand produces only a wisp of silver vapor. The Dementors are closing in. Their scabby hands reach out. Then a silver terrier bursts from Ron's wand. It is Ron's Patronus. It charges the Dementors, driving them back. Harry rallies. He thinks of Ron and Hermione. He casts his own Patronus. The silver stag erupts from his wand, galloping around the courtroom, scattering the Dementors. Harry shouts at Mrs. Cattermole to run. He tells her to get her children and leave the country. He tells her that her husband, the real Reg Cattermole, is safe for now, but she must go. They run for the lifts. They are leading a group of accused Muggle-borns to safety. The alarm is wailing throughout the ministry. They reach the atrium. The golden gates are being sealed. They have seconds. Harry shouts to the Muggle-borns to go home and go into hiding. But Yaxley has recovered. He is running across the atrium floor. The Polyjuice potion is wearing off. Harry is shrinking. His glasses are too big. Ron is turning back into a redhead. They reach the fireplaces. Harry grabs Hermione. Hermione grabs Ron. They jump into the green flames of the grate. But just as they spin away into darkness, a hand grabs Hermione's arm. It is Yaxley. They are twisting through space, suffocating in the magical tube. Hermione is struggling. She cannot shake Yaxley off. They arrive on the doorstep of number 12 Grimmauld Place. This is the critical failure. Grimmauld Place is protected by the Fidelius charm. The location is a secret inside the Secret Keeper's soul. Harry, Ron, and Hermione are secret keepers now that Dumbledore is dead. By bringing Yaxley to the doorstep, even for a second, Hermione has inadvertently revealed the secret to him. She has brought a Death Eater inside the charm. Hermione realizes this instantly. In a split second of brilliance and terror, she twists away from the door. She blasts Yaxley backward with a revulsion jinx. And before he can grab her again, she spins on her heel and disapparates them all away. They land in a forest. It is dark and quiet. They collapse onto the leaves. Harry is shaking. The locket is safe in his hand. But Ron is not moving. He is splinged. Splinching happens when apparition goes wrong. Part of the body is left behind. Ron's upper arm and shoulder are missing a large chunk of flesh. Blood is pouring out of him, soaking the ground. He is pale and unconscious. Hermione screams. She scrambles for her bag. She pulls out a bottle of essence of dittany. It is a powerful healing potion. She pours a few drops onto the gaping wound. Greenish smoke billows up. The bleeding stops. The flesh begins to knit together, but it looks angry and red. Ron groans. He is in agony. Harry casts protective spells around the clearing. Salvio Hexia, Protego Totalum, Repello Muggletum. He creates a magical bubble of safety in the woods. Hermione is sobbing. She explains what happened. She says Yaxley saw the door. He saw the house. The secret is broken. They can never go back to Grimmauld Place. They have no home. They have no food. They have no plan. Harry sits back against a tree. He looks at the locket. It is heavy, gold, and cold. He can feel a faint ticking coming from inside it, like a heartbeat. They have the Horcrux, but they have no way to destroy it. They are alone in the wild. The next few weeks are a blur of hunger and frustration. They move the tent every day to avoid detection. They eat wild mushrooms and fish Harry catches with magic. But the fish tastes terrible. They are starving, and the locket is changing them. They decide to take turns wearing it, because leaving it in the bag makes them anxious. But wearing it is worse. When Harry wears it, he feels irritable. He feels like the mission is hopeless. He suspects Ron and Hermione are talking about him. When Hermione wears it, she becomes tearful and snappy. But Ron reacts the worst. Ron has always been the one who is loved, fed, and comfortable. He is not used to hunger. He is not used to being second best. The locket feeds on his insecurities. It whispers to him. It tells him his mother loves Harry more than him. It tells him Hermione loves Harry, not him. The tension in the tent becomes unbearable. They try to open the locket. They use every spell they know. They hit it with cutting curses, blasting curses, fire. Nothing leaves a scratch on the gold. Harry realizes the only thing that can destroy a Horcrux is something that puts it beyond magical repair. Basilisk venom. He remembers the sword of Gryffindor. In his second year, he used the sword to kill the basilisk. The blade is goblin-made. It absorbs that which makes it stronger. The sword is impregnated with basilisk venom. That is why Dumbledore left him the sword. The sword can destroy Horcruxes, but they don't have the sword. The Ministry has it, or so they think. Then they overhear a conversation. One night, while camped on a riverbank, they hear voices. It is a group of runaways. Ted Tonks, Nymphadora's father, Dirk Cresswell, a wizard on the run from the Registration Commission, Dean Thomas, Harry's fellow Gryffindor, and two goblins, Griffook and Gornuk. Harry, Ron, and Hermione listen from the tent using extendable ears. The goblins reveal a secret. They say the sword in Gringotts' vault, the one Snape sent to be stored there for safekeeping, is a fake. Harry's heart stops. Griffook explains that the real sword of Gryffindor is missing. The copy in the vault is a good replica, but it is not goblin-made. Harry realizes the truth. Dumbledore must have hidden the real sword, or perhaps Snape did. But if the real sword is out there, they have a chance. Harry is excited. He rushes back into the tent to tell Ron and Hermione. He thinks this is great news. They just need to find the real sword. But Ron does not share his enthusiasm. Ron is lying on his bunk, pale and sullen. The locket is hanging around his neck. He glares at Harry. Ron asks, "So what? You know where the sword is then?" Harry says no, but at least they know it exists. Ron snaps. He stands up. The anger that has been brewing for weeks explodes. He mocks Harry. He says they have been running in circles, starving, freezing, with nothing to show for it. He thought Harry knew what he was doing. He thought Dumbledore left a plan. Harry shouts back. He tells Ron he never asked for this. He never asked for any of it. Ron turns to Hermione. He asks her if she is staying. He forces her to choose. Hermione is crying. She looks at Harry, then at Ron. She says, "Ron, we promised. We said we would help him." Ron nods slowly. He interprets this as her choosing Harry over him. The locket glints on his chest, feeding his jealousy. "Fine," Ron says. "I get it. I saw you too." He throws the locket onto a chair. He grabs his rucksack. He walks out into the rain. Harry stands frozen. Hermione runs after Ron. She screams his name. Harry hears her pleading outside in the dark. Minutes pass. It is silent. Hermione comes back alone. She collapses on the floor, sobbing uncontrollably. Ron is gone, disapparated. Harry picks up the locket. He puts it around his own neck. It feels like ice. The tent feels enormous without Ron. The silence is deafening. Harry and Hermione do not speak. They go to bed in separate bunks, listening to the rain. The trio is broken. The mission is stalled, and winter is coming. The weeks following Ron's departure are the darkest of the entire journey. The silence in the tent is suffocating. Hermione cries for days. Harry hears her sobbing into her pillow at night, but he does not know how to comfort her. He is grieving too, but his grief manifests as a cold, hard anger. He refuses to say Ron's name. They travel aimlessly. They visit places where they think Dumbledore might have hidden a Horcrux or the sword. They go to the orphanage where Voldemort was raised, but it has been demolished to make way for office blocks. They are grasping at straws. As December approaches, the weather turns brutal. Snow covers the countryside. The tent is freezing. Harry and Hermione sit huddled in blankets, reading the books Dumbledore left them. Harry stares at the snitch, willing it to open. Hermione pores over the tailies of Beetle the Bard. She finds a strange symbol drawn in the book, above the story of the tale of the three brothers. It is the same symbol Xenophilius Lovegood wore at the wedding. A triangle, a circle, and a vertical line. They do not know what it means, but it feels significant. Finally, Harry suggests the one place he has been afraid to suggest. Godric's Hollow. He argues that if Dumbledore hid the sword, he would hide it somewhere significant to Harry. Godric's Hollow is where Harry was born. It is where his parents died. It is also, as they learned at the wedding, where Dumbledore's family lived. Hermione agrees, but for a different reason. She thinks Dumbledore might have left the sword with Bathilda Bagshot, the famous historian who lives there. Bathilda was a neighbor of the Dumbledores. They plan to arrive on Christmas Eve. They hope the village will be quiet. They disapparate into the village under the cover of darkness. Snow is falling gently. The village is picture perfect. There is a war memorial in the center of the square. As they walk past it, the monument transforms. Instead of a generic obelisk, it becomes a statue of three people. A man with untidy hair and glasses, a woman with a kind face, and a baby boy sitting in her arms. It is James, Lily, and Harry. Harry stares at his stone parents. He is not represented as a hero here, just a baby who survived a tragedy. They move to the graveyard behind the church. The sound of carols is drifting from the church doors. It is a hauntingly beautiful scene. They walk through the rows of headstones, brushing off the snow to read the names. They find a grave made of white marble. The names are Kendra Dumbledore and Ariana Dumbledore. There is a quote engraved on the stone: "Where your treasure is, there will your heart be also." Harry does not understand it. He feels Dumbledore's secrets pressing in on him. Why did Dumbledore never mention his family was buried here? Hermione calls Harry over to another grave. It is very old. The name is almost worn away, but the name is Ignatus Peveril. Beneath the name is the symbol, the triangle, the circle, and the line. Harry is impatient. He wants to find his parents. Finally, they find them. 2 rows back, under a large willow tree. The headstone is made of white marble, just like the Dumbledores. James Potter, born 27 March 1960, died 31 October 1981. Lily Potter, born 30 January 1960, died 31 October 1981. And the inscription reads, "The last enemy that shall be destroyed is death." Harry panics. He thinks it is a Death Eater slogan. Why would his parents have a quote about destroying death on their grave? Isn't that what Voldemort wants? Hermione calms him down. She explains it is a Christian idea. It means living beyond death. It means the afterlife. It is not about immortality of the body, but the soul. Harry breaks down. The reality of his loss hits him harder than ever before. His parents are just bones in the ground. They are not coming back. He wishes he was under the snow with them. Hermione conjures a wreath of Christmas roses with her wand. Harry lays it on the grave. They stand there, hand in hand, weeping in the cold. As they leave the graveyard, they notice someone watching them. It is a stooped figure standing at the edge of the churchyard. An old woman. She is almost entirely covered in a shawl. Harry approaches her. He asks if she is Battle of Bagshot. The woman nods. She does not speak. She beckons them to follow her. Harry and Hermione exchange a look. This seems too easy, but they are desperate. They think she might have the sword. They follow her down a narrow lane to a small, overgrown cottage. The gate is rusty. The garden is wild. Inside, the house smells terrible. It smells of old age, dust, and something worse. Something like rotting meat. Bathilda lights a candle. Her hand is shaking. The skin is mottled and gray. She leads them into a sitting room. It is filled with photographs. Harry spots a picture of a handsome, golden-haired boy. The boy looks familiar. It is the same boy from the vision Harry saw of the thief stealing from Gregorovitch. Harry asks who the boy is. Bathilda does not answer. She stares at Harry's chest, at the locket. She motions for Harry to come upstairs with her. Alone, Hermione tries to object, but Bathilda shakes her head. She wants only Harry. Harry thinks maybe she has the sword upstairs and wants to give it to him privately. He tells Hermione to wait. He follows the old woman up the creaking stairs. The smell gets worse. It is overpowering in the bedroom. Bathilda closes the door. The room is dark. The only light comes from the street lamp outside. She stands in the middle of the room. She seems to be shrinking. Her body is trembling violently. Harry asks, "Do you have something for me?" Bathilda nods. Then a voice comes out of her. But it is not a human voice. It is a hissing sound that Harry understands perfectly because he is a Parselmouth. "Hold him," the voice hisses. Harry is confused. He asks what. Then the horror unfolds. Bathilda Bagshot collapses. Her body falls apart like a pile of old clothes. And from the neck of her dress, a massive, muscular snake erupts. It is Nagini. The old woman was a corpse. A puppet. Voldemort placed his snake inside the body of the dead historian to wait for Harry. It was a trap. The snake strikes. It bites Harry's forearm. The pain is blinding. Harry falls backward, crashing into a bedside table. The snake is huge, heavy, coiling around the room. Harry's scar explodes with pain. Voldemort knows. He is coming. Harry tries to grab his wand. The snake strikes again, its tail smashing the wand from his hand. The wand rolls under the bed. Harry shouts for Hermione. He hears her running up the stairs. The snake rears up to strike Harry's face. Harry grabs a heavy silver mirror and throws it. The glass shatters against the snake's scales. Hermione bursts into the room. She screams. She starts firing curses. Confringo. The curse misses the snake and hits the window. The glass explodes. The curtain catches fire. The snake turns on Hermione. Harry jumps forward, trying to pull the snake off. The snake is impossibly strong. It coils around Harry, squeezing the air out of him. Harry feels his scar splitting open. He is slipping into Voldemort's mind. He sees Voldemort flying over the sea, high on triumph, screaming in delight. He is seconds away. Harry shouts to Hermione to run. Hermione casts a blasting curse. It hits the floor. The floorboards shatter. The entire room collapses. Harry and the snake fall through the hole into the sitting room below. Harry hits the floor hard. He is dazed. The snake is rising from the rubble, ready to kill. Hermione jumps down after him. She grabs Harry's arm. She points her wand at the snake, which is lunging. With a crack like a whip, she disapparates. They spin through darkness. Harry feels Voldemort's scream of fury echoing in his head. Voldemort arrived a second too late. He found an empty house. They crash into a tent. They are back in the Forest of Dean. Harry is sick. He vomits. The bite on his arm is burning. The locket, which was pressed against his chest during the fight, has seared a circle of burned flesh into his skin. Hermione is tending to him. She is shaking. She uses Dittany on the snake bite. She says it was Nagini. She says Bathilda must have been dead for a long time. Harry is weak. He asks for his wand. Hermione goes silent. She looks terrified. She holds out 2 pieces of wood. They are held together by a single, fragile feather. It is Harry's holly wand. It is snapped in half. Harry stares at it. He feels as if a limb has been cut off. He asks how it happened. Hermione cries. She admits that her blasting curse in the bedroom must have ricocheted. She hit his wand by accident. Harry tries to mend it. He holds the pieces together. He says reparo. The wood joins, but as soon as he moves it, it snaps again. The damage is magical and catastrophic. A wand broken by powerful dark magic, or perhaps the stress of the curse, cannot be fixed by ordinary means. Harry is defenseless. He has no wand. He has no sword. Ron is gone, and Voldemort almost killed them. The next few days are grim. Harry has to borrow Hermione's wand to stand guard, leaving her defenseless in the tent. The wand feels wrong in his hand. It does not obey him properly. He spends his time reading the life and lies of Albus Dumbledore, the book Hermione stole from Bathilda's house before they ran upstairs. It is a trashy biography by Rita Skeeter, but it contains letters. Real letters written by Dumbledore to Grindelwald when they were teenagers. Harry reads them with horror. The letters prove that Dumbledore and Grindelwald were not just friends. They were partners. They planned a revolution together. They coined the phrase for the greater good. They planned to subdue Muggles for their own safety. Harry feels sick. The man he worshipped, the man he thought was the champion of Muggle-borns, had plotted to enslave them. Harry feels stupid for ever trusting Dumbledore. He tells Hermione that Dumbledore never loved him. Dumbledore was just using him as a pawn, just like he used everyone else. Hermione tries to defend Dumbledore. She says he was young. She says he changed. She says he spent the rest of his life making up for that summer. But Harry is not listening. He feels completely alone. One night, unable to sleep, Harry takes Hermione's wand and goes out to keep watch. The forest is frozen. The trees are black skeletons against the sky. He is sitting by a tree, staring at the darkness when he sees a light. It is a bright, silver light. It is moving through the trees. Harry stands up. He thinks it is an enemy, but the light is soft. It is not a curse. A silver doe steps into the clearing. It is a patroness. It is beautiful. It moves with a strange, liquid grace. It looks at Harry. It does not look threatening. It looks like it is waiting for him. It turns and walks away, deeper into the forest. Harry knows he should not follow. It could be a trap. But his instincts scream at him to go. He grabs the invisibility cloak and follows the doe. She leads him through the trees. The snow crunches under his feet. The cold is biting. She stops at a small, frozen pool of water. The ice is thick. The doe looks at Harry one last time, and then she vanishes. The light goes out. Harry is left in darkness, lit only by his wand tip. He walks to the edge of the pool. He looks down through the ice. There is something shining at the bottom of the pool. A cross of rubies. It is the sword of Gryffindor. It is right there, under the ice. Harry looks around. Who put it there? Why? He tries to summon it. A Kyo sword. Nothing happens. The sword does not move. Harry remembers that a Horcrux cannot be summoned. The sword, being a goblin-made object of immense power, likely has similar protections. He has to get it. He uses Hermione's wand to crack the ice. He makes a hole big enough to fit through. The water is black and freezing. He knows he has to go in. He strips off his clothes. He stands shivering in the snow. He keeps the locket around his neck. He doesn't think to take it off. He is focused on the sword. He takes a deep breath and jumps. The cold is like a physical blow. It knocks the air out of him. He kicks down, deeper into the dark water. His hand closes around the hilt of the sword. And then the locket wakes up. It senses the presence of the sword. The sword is its enemy. The sword can destroy it. The chain of the locket suddenly tightens. It shrinks around Harry's neck. It cuts into his windpipe. Harry gags. He tries to pull away, but the locket is strangling him. He is drowning. He kicks, but his legs are numb. The water is filling his lungs. He is going to die, not by Voldemort, but by his own stupidity. He thrashes in the water, losing consciousness. The silver light of the surface is fading. Then strong arms grab him. He is hauled upward. He breaks the surface, coughing and retching. He is dragged onto the snowy bank. Someone is hitting him on the back. Someone is panting. Harry rolls over. He looks up. Standing over him, wet and shivering, holding the sword of Gryffindor, is Ron Weasley. Harry stares at Ron, unable to believe his eyes. He asks how Ron found them. Ron explains that the Deluminator, the gift from Dumbledore, is more than just a light putter outer. It has a homing mechanism. Ron says that when he left, he regretted it instantly. He wanted to come back, but the protective enchantments prevented him. He wandered for weeks, but on Christmas morning, he heard a voice coming from the Deluminator. It was Hermione's voice. She was saying his name. A ball of light appeared, floated into his chest, and when he disapparated, it took him exactly where he needed to go. Harry realizes the magic runs deep. Dumbledore knew Ron would leave. He also knew Ron would want to come back. But there is no time for sentimentality yet. They have the sword. They have the locket. It is time to finish this. Harry tells Ron he has to do it. Ron has to destroy the Horcrux. Ron looks terrified. He shakes his head. He says he can't. He says the thing affects him too much. Harry insists. He says it has to be Ron. He knows, instinctively, that this is Ron's test. They walk a little way into the trees. Harry places the locket on a flat rock. It looks like a toad, twitching. Harry tells Ron that when he opens it, Ron must stab it immediately. Don't listen to it. Just kill it. Harry counts down 1, 2, 3. He speaks in Parseltongue. Open. The golden doors of the locket click open. Behind the glass windows, 2 living eyes blink. They are dark and handsome, like Tom Riddle's eyes. Then a voice speaks from the locket. It is Voldemort's voice. It hisses at Ron. It says, "I have seen your heart, and it is mine." Ron raises the sword, his hands shaking. The locket explodes with dark smoke. The smoke forms shapes. It forms a terrifying, twisted version of Harry and Hermione. But they are beautiful and terrible. The smoke Harry speaks to Ron. It mocks him. It says, "Who are you compared to the chosen one? What are you compared to the boy who lived?" It calls Ron the least loved, always overshadowed by his brothers, always second best to his friend. The smoke Hermione speaks. She laughs at Ron. She says, "Who could look at you? Who would ever look at you beside Harry Potter?" The smoke figures embrace. They kiss. It is a cruel, intimate kiss designed to break Ron's heart. Ron drops the sword point. His eyes turn red. He looks at the real Harry. For a second, Harry thinks Ron is going to kill him. Harry shouts, "Do it, Ron." Ron screams. It is a sound of pure agony. He raises the sword high over his head and brings it down with all his strength. The blade strikes the locket. There is a scream, long and piercing. The glass shatters. The smoke figures vanish. The red eyes in the locket die. Silence returns to the forest. Ron falls to his knees. He is shaking uncontrollably. Harry sits down next to him. He picks up the broken locket. It is just broken gold now. The soul is gone. Harry speaks quietly. He tells Ron that there is nothing between him and Hermione. He says she has been crying for weeks. He says she loves Ron. Ron nods, wiping his eyes. He is back. The dark cloud that has hung over him for months is gone. He is Ron Weasley again. They walk back to the tent. Hermione is still asleep. Harry nudges her awake. He says, "Hermione, look who is here." Hermione wakes up. She sees Ron standing there, holding the sword and the broken locket. For a moment, she is stunned. Then she explodes. She does not hug him. She launches herself at him, hitting him, screaming. She yells that he is an arse, that he left them, that she thought he was dead. She demands to know where he has been. Ron looks at Harry for help, but Harry just smiles and backs away. This is between them. Ron explains about the Deluminator. Hermione listens, torn between fury and fascination at the magic. When Ron mentions he heard her voice, she softens, but only slightly. She is still angry, but the trio is reunited. With Ron back, the dynamic changes. They have hope again. Ron brings news from the outside world. He tells them about the radio station Potterwatch, a secret resistance broadcast. He tells them the taboo is still in effect. Saying Voldemort's name breaks magical enchantments and summons snatchers. This is how they found the trio in the cafe. Harry realizes he must stop saying the name. They decide their next move. They need to understand the symbol in the book. The triangle, circle, and line. Hermione wants to visit Xenophilius Lovegood. Ron agrees, mostly to get back on Hermione's good side. They travel to the Lovegood house. It looks like a giant black rook chess piece, located near the Weasley home, but hidden in the hills. They knock on the door. Xenophilius answers. He looks terrible. He is unshaven, disheveled, and looks like he hasn't slept in weeks. He is surprised to see them. He seems nervous. They ask about the symbol. He invites them inside. The house is chaotic. He offers them tea made from Gertie roots. It tastes disgusting. He explains the symbol. He asks if they know the tale of the three brothers. Hermione reads the story aloud from her book. It is the legend of three brothers who cheat Death. Death pretends to congratulate them and offers them gifts. The first brother asks for a wand more powerful than any other. Death fashions the elder wand from an elder tree. The second brother asks for the power to recall loved ones from the grave. Death picks up a stone from the river, the resurrection stone. The third brother, the humble one, asks for something to allow him to go forth without Death following him. Death reluctantly hands over his own invisibility cloak. Xenophilius draws the symbol. The vertical line is the wand. The circle is the stone. The triangle is the cloak. Together, they make the Deathly Hallows. He claims that whoever possesses all three becomes the master of death. Harry is electrified. He realizes he owns one of them. The cloak. His cloak is perfect, never fading, completely impenetrable. It is a hallow. He thinks of the ring Dumbledore destroyed. The stone in it had the Peveril coat of arms, the resurrection stone, and the wand, the elder wand, the death stick, the wand of destiny. Harry begins to connect the dots. Voldemort is looking for a wand that cannot be beaten. He is looking for the elder wand, but something is wrong in the house. Xenophilius is acting strangely. He keeps glancing at the window. He says Luna is down at the stream fishing for freshwater plimpies, but Hermione notices dust on the surfaces in Luna's room. Her clothes are gone. She hasn't been here for weeks. They confront Xenophilius. He breaks down. He admits it. The Death Eaters took Luna. They took her off the Hogwarts Express on her way home for Christmas. They took her because of what Xenophilius has been writing in the Quibbler in support of Harry. He tells them he has summoned the Ministry. He plans to trade Harry Potter for his daughter. Harry listens. He hears brooms outside. The Death Eaters are here. Xenophilius grabs a stunner and fires it. He is trying to stun Harry to hold him. The spell misses and hits a large, spiraling horn mounting on the wall. Hermione recognizes it. It is an erumpent horn, a Class B tradable material. It is highly explosive. The horn explodes. The house is blown apart. The floor collapses. Harry, Ron, and Hermione fall into the room below, covered in dust and debris. The Death Eaters, Travers and Selwyn, enter the ruins. They are angry with Xenophilius. They think he lured them there to kill them with the explosion. They threaten to kill him. Hermione makes a split-second decision. She knows they have to escape, but they also have to protect Ron's cover story, that he is sick in bed with Spattergroit. And they need to verify Xenophilius's claim, so the Death Eaters don't kill him for lying. She throws the invisibility cloak over Ron. She blasts a hole in the floor. As they fall, she shows Harry's face to the Death Eaters for just a second. Then she spins in mid-air and disapparates them all. They land in a forest, safe but shaken. Harry is buzzing with the new information about the Hallows. He is obsessed. He believes Dumbledore wants him to find them. He thinks the stone is inside the snitch. I open at the close. Hermione and Ron are skeptical. They think it is a distraction. They remind Harry that Dumbledore told him to find Horcruxes, not Hallows. Weeks pass. It is now Easter. The trio is listening to Potter Watch. They hear the voice of Lee Jordan broadcasting under the code name River. Kingsley Shacklebolt and Remus Lupin are guests. They discuss the reality of the war. It gives Harry hope to hear their voices. But in his excitement, Harry slips. He says the name, Voldemort. Immediately, the protective spells around the tent shatter. It sounds like a cannon blast. Voices shout from outside. Come out with your hands up. They are surrounded. Hermione acts fast. She points her wand at Harry's face and shouts a stinging jinx. Harry's face swells up rapidly. His eyes disappear into puffy flesh. He looks unrecognizable. Snatchers burst into the tent. They are a gang of bounty hunters looking for truants and muggle-borns. They are led by the werewolf Fenrir Greyback. They drag the trio out. They smell the perfume Hermione wears. They check their list. They ask for names. Ron claims to be Stan Shunpike. The Snatchers don't buy it. He eventually says he is Barney Weasley. Hermione claims to be Penelope Clearwater. Harry, his face swollen and distorted, claims to be Vernon Dudley. But one of the Snatchers, Scabier, finds the prophet clipping of Hermione in her bag. He recognizes her as the friend of Harry Potter. They look closer at Harry. They see the scar through the swelling. They see the glasses. They realize they have caught the biggest prize of all. They do not take them to the Ministry. They decide to take them straight to Voldemort's base of operations, to Malfoy Manor. They arrive at the Iron Gates. Harry's scar is prickling, but Voldemort is not there. He is far away at Nurmengard Prison, interrogating Grindelwald. They are dragged into the drawing room. The Malfoys are there. Lucius, Narcissa, and Draco. They look terrible. They are terrified of Voldemort. Bellatrix Lestrange enters. She is manic and dangerous. The Snatchers present Harry. They ask Draco to identify him. Draco is reluctant. He looks at Harry's swollen face. He mutters, "I don't know. It could be." Lucius is eager. He wants to be the one to hand Harry over to forgive his past failures. He checks Harry's forehead. Then Bellatrix sees something that stops her cold. One of the Snatchers is holding the sword of Gryffindor. They found it in the tent. Bellatrix panics. She attacks the Snatchers. She stuns them effortlessly. She demands to know where they got the sword. She believes the sword is in her vault at Gringotts. If the sword is here, it means someone has broken into her vault. And if they broke into her vault, they might have seen what else is hidden there. She is terrified of Voldemort finding out. She orders Harry and Ron to be taken to the cellar. She keeps Hermione upstairs for interrogation. As Harry is dragged away, he hears Hermione scream. In the cellar, it is pitch black. They find other prisoners, Dean Thomas, Luna Lovegood, and Mr. Ollivander. From above, Hermione's screams echo through the floor. Bellatrix is torturing her with the Cruciatus curse. She is asking over and over, "Where did you get the sword?" Harry pulls out the two-way mirror shard. He sees the blue eye again. He screams for help into the mirror. He says, "We are at Malfoy Manor. Help us." The eye blinks and vanishes. Upstairs, Hermione lies. She gasps that the sword is a fake. She says they found it. Bellatrix does not believe her. She presses on. Suddenly, a small pop sounds in the cellar. Dobby, the house elf, appears. Harry is overjoyed. He asks Dobby to take Luna, Dean, and Ollivander to safety. To Shell Cottage, Bill and Fleur's home. Dobby nods. He grabs their hands and disapparates with a loud crack. The noise is heard upstairs. Bellatrix sends Peter Pettigrew, Wormtail, to check on the prisoners. Harry and Ron scramble. They need a weapon. Wormtail enters the cellar. He uses his silver hand to light his wand. He sees the empty room. He lunges for Harry. Harry tackles him. They fight. Wormtail's metal hand wraps around Harry's throat. He is strangling Harry. Harry is turning blue. Harry chokes out the words, "You owe me, Wormtail. I saved your life." Wormtail hesitates. He remembers that night in the Shrieking Shack when Harry stopped Sirius and Lupin from killing him. The grip on Harry's throat loosens slightly. A moment of mercy. But the silver hand is a gift from Voldemort. It does not understand mercy. It detects treason. The hand turns on Wormtail. It lets go of Harry and grabs Wormtail's own throat. Wormtail gags. His eyes bulge. Harry and Ron try to pull the hand off. They try to save the man who betrayed Harry's parents. But the silver fingers are relentless. Peter Pettigrew dies, strangled by his own hand, a victim of his master's magic. Harry and Ron grab Wormtail's wand. They run upstairs. They burst into the drawing room. Bellatrix is holding a knife to Hermione's throat. Hermione is barely conscious. Griffook the Goblin is there too. Bellatrix demands Griffook to inspect the sword. She asks if it is real. Harry prays Griffook will lie. Griffook looks at the sword. He looks at Harry. He says it is a fake. This is a copy. Bellatrix is relieved. She pushes Hermione away. She calls Voldemort. She presses her finger to the dark mark on her arm. Harry's scar explodes. Voldemort is coming. At that moment, Dobby returns. He causes a chandelier to crash from the ceiling. Bellatrix screams and jumps back. Hermione is pulled from the wreckage by Ron. Harry casts spells, stunning Greyback. Draco fumbles for his wand. Harry runs at him. He wrestles 3 wands from Draco's grip. They grab Dobby. They grab Griffook. They spin on the spot. As they disappear, Bellatrix throws her silver knife. They travel through the darkness. They land on a beach. The sound of the sea fills Harry's ears. It is Shell Cottage. Harry lets go of Dobby. He looks around. He is safe. They have the wands. They have Hermione. But Dobby is not moving. Harry looks down. The silver hilt of Bellatrix's knife is protruding from the elf's small, heaving chest. Dobby looks up at Harry. His large eyes are full of tears. He whispers, "Harry, Potter," and then he dies. Harry holds the body of the elf who set him free. He digs the grave himself, without magic. He wants to do it the Muggle way. It is hard work. It gives him time to think. His grief clarifies his mind. His scar is burning. He can feel Voldemort's rage at finding the empty manor, but Harry blocks it out. He has made a choice. He chooses Horcruxes over Hallows. He stands over the grave. He carves a stone with a drifter's help. Here lies Dobby, a free elf. We pick up the story at Shell Cottage. The sound of the sea is constant. Harry is sitting on the cliff edge, staring at Dobby's grave. He has made his decision. He chooses to destroy the Horcruxes rather than pursue the Deathly Hallows. He goes inside to strike a deal. He speaks to Griffook the goblin first. He asks Griffook to help them break into the Lestrange's vault at Gringotts. Griffook is shocked. He says it is impossible. But he is also intrigued. He hates wizards, but he hates the Death Eaters more. He agrees, but his price is steep. He wants the sword of Gryffindor. Harry hesitates. The sword is their only weapon against Horcruxes. He looks at Ron and Hermione. He makes a dangerous promise. He tells Griffook he can have the sword, but he is careful with his wording. He does not say when. He plans to hand it over only after the Horcruxes are destroyed. Griffook accepts, though his eyes narrow. He suspects treachery. Harry then speaks to Ollivander. He asks about the Elder Wand. Ollivander confirms the legend is real. He admits that under torture, he told Voldemort that the wand was last held by Gregorovitch. Harry realizes Voldemort is tracking the wand's history, from Gregorovitch to Grindelwald, and from Grindelwald to Dumbledore. Voldemort goes to Hogwarts, to the White Tomb. He cracks open the marble. He takes the wand from Dumbledore's dead hands. He fires a spell into the sky. He is now the master of the Elder Wand. Or so he thinks. Back at the cottage, the planning begins. It is meticulous. They will use Polyjuice Potion. Hermione will impersonate Bellatrix Lestrange. They have a strand of her hair from the fight at the manor. Ron will undergo a transfiguration to look like a different wizard, a fictional foreigner named Dragomir Despard. Harry and Griffook will hide under the invisibility cloak. On the morning of the heist, they disapparate to Diagon Alley. The alley is changed. It is quiet, gray, and filled with beggars. They enter Gringotts. Hermione is terrified, but she plays the part of the arrogant Bellatrix. Travers, another Death Eater, meets them. He is suspicious. He asks about her wand, which was rumored to be lost. Hermione claims she had a new one made. They reach the carts. They have to pass the probity probes. Harry uses a confundus charm on the guards to get through. They climb into the cart. The ride is a nightmare. The cart hurtles down deeper than they have ever gone. They pass under a waterfall called the Thief's Downfall. It washes away all magical concealment. The Polyjuice Potion vanishes. Hermione is herself again. Ron is Ron. Harry is still invisible, but the game is up. The cart crashes. They are deep underground, surrounded by guards. Harry acts fast. He uses the Imperious Curse on the head goblin, Bogrod. It is the first time Harry has used an unforgivable curse properly. He forces Bogrod to order the dragon to back down. There is a dragon guarding the oldest vaults, a Ukrainian ironbelly. It is half blind, pale, and covered in scars. It has been tortured to fear the sound of clankers, small metal instruments the goblins use. They pass the dragon. Bogrod opens the vault. Inside, the treasure is cursed, Gemino and Flagrante. When they touch anything, it multiplies and burns white hot. They see the cup, Helga Hufflepuff's cup. It is sitting on a high shelf. Harry climbs the mountain of burning gold. The treasure is swelling beneath him, crushing them, burning their skin. He reaches the cup. He grabs it with the sword. The door slams shut. Griffook betrays them. He shouts that there are thieves. He grabs the sword from Harry's hand and joins the other goblins. They are trapped. The treasure is filling the room. They are going to be crushed or burned to death. Harry has a mad idea. He points his wand at the dragon outside. He shouts Relatio to break the chains. The dragon is free. They jump onto the dragon's back. Harry, Ron, and Hermione dig their fingers into the hard scales. The dragon roars and blasts fire at the ceiling. It smashes its way out of the tunnels, climbing up through the marble floor of the lobby, shattering the glass dome, and flying into the sky. They are flying over London on a dragon. They drop into a lake hours later. They are freezing and burned, but they have the cup. Then Harry enters Voldemort's mind. Voldemort has learned of the break-in. He is consumed by a cold, murderous rage. He realizes they are hunting his Horcruxes. He runs through the list in his head. The diary is gone. The ring is gone. The locket is gone. The cup is gone. He thinks of the others. The snake, Nagini. The diadem of Ravenclaw, hidden at Hogwarts. And the ring, which he checks at the Gaunt Shack. Harry snaps back to reality. He tells Ron and Hermione. Voldemort knows, and he knows the last hiding place is Hogwarts. They have to go to Hogwarts. Now, they disapparate to Hogsmeade, but it is a trap. The village is under a caterwauling charm. As soon as they land, a high-pitched scream fills the air. Death Eaters swarm out of the 3 broomsticks. They summon Dementors. Harry casts a Patronus. The stag drives the Dementors back. They are cornered. Then, a door opens in a back street. A gruff voice tells them to get in. They rush inside. The man slams the door. It is the Hog's Head pub. The barman looks vaguely familiar. He has bright blue eyes. It is Aberforth Dumbledore, Albus's brother. He saves them from the Death Eaters by claiming the stag Patronus was his goat Patronus. Aberforth is bitter. He tells them to go home. He says the order is finished. He tells them the truth about Ariana. She was attacked by Muggles as a child and could not control her magic. Their father went to prison for attacking the Muggles. Kendra died when Ariana lost control. Albus came home, not to care for his family, but to plot world domination with Grindelwald. Aberforth says Grindelwald and Albus fought, and in the chaos, a stray spell killed Ariana. Albus never forgave himself. Harry listens, but he insists he must finish the mission. Aberforth sighs. He looks at the portrait of Ariana on the wall. He tells her, "You know what to do." The portrait swings open. It is a secret tunnel into Hogwarts. Neville Longbottom climbs out. Neville is battered and bruised, but he is smiling. He leads them into the castle. They arrive in the Room of Requirement. It has become a sanctuary for Dumbledore's army. Seamus, Dean, Luna, and others are there. They have been fighting a guerrilla war against Snape and the Carrows. Harry asks for help finding the Ravenclaw Horcrux. He describes it. A lost diadem. Luna suggests checking the Ravenclaw common room statue. Harry and Luna go under the cloak. They enter Ravenclaw Tower. They answer the riddle to enter. Which came first, the phoenix or the flame? Luna answers, a circle has no beginning. Inside, they find the statue. The diadem is a tiara. Harry recognizes it. He has seen it before. Then Electo Caro finds them. She touches her dark mark to summon Voldemort. Luna stuns her. Amicus Caro bangs on the door. Professor McGonagall lets him in. Amicus sees his sister stunned. He blames the students. McGonagall stands up to him. Amicus spits in her face. Harry pulls off the cloak. He is furious. He says, "You shouldn't have done that." He points his wand at Amicus. Crucio. The curse lifts Amicus off his feet and slams him into the wall. Harry realizes that to use the unforgivable curses, you have to mean them. He wanted to cause pain. McGonagall is shocked, but rallies quickly. She summons the other heads of house. She animates the statues of Hogwarts. Peertotum locomotor. The stone soldiers march to the boundaries. The Battle of Hogwarts has begun. Voldemort's voice booms over the castle. He demands they hand over Harry Potter. He gives them 1 hour. The Slytherins want to hand Harry over. Pansy Parkinson points at him. But the Gryffindors, Hufflepuffs, and Ravenclaws rise to defend him. McGonagall orders the Slytherins to the dungeons, or rather, evacuates them. Harry rushes to find the diadem. He remembers where he saw it. The room of hidden things. The place where he hid his potion book. He runs into Ron and Hermione. They are carrying basilisk fangs. They went to the Chamber of Secrets. Hermione destroyed the cup. Ron mimicked the Parseltongue sound he heard Harry make. They kiss. It is desperate and passionate. Harry tells them to hold it together. They enter the room of requirement. It is a city of junk. They split up. Harry finds the diadem, sitting on top of a bust of a warlock. But they are not alone. Draco Malfoy, Crabbe, and Goyle appear. Crabbe is dangerous. He is using dark magic he learned from the Carrows. He casts Avada Kedavra. He misses. Then Crabbe casts Fiendfire. Cursed fire erupts. It takes the shape of giant serpents and chimeras. It consumes everything. The room turns into an inferno. They grab broomsticks to escape. The heat is intense. Malfoy and Goyle are climbing a stack of furniture. Crabbe has fallen into the fire. He is gone. Harry swoops down and saves Malfoy. Ron saves Goyle. They fly out of the room just as the doors slam shut. The diadem was in Harry's hand. The Fiendfire destroyed it. It is black and crumbling. The soul inside it screams and dies. 5 Horcruxes down, 1 to go, the snake. They rush to the corridors. The castle is being torn apart. Giants are smashing the walls. Acromantulas are swarming. Death Eaters are dueling everywhere. They see Percy Weasley dueling alongside Fred. Percy has returned. He makes a joke. Fred laughs. Then the wall explodes. Harry is thrown back. When the dust settles, he sees Ron kneeling. Fred Weasley is lying on the floor. He is dead. The ghost of his last laugh is still etched on his face. There is no time to grieve. They have to kill the snake. Harry looks into Voldemort's mind. He is in the Shrieking Shack. They fight their way across the grounds. Dementors swarm. Aberforth saves them again. They crawl into the tunnel under the Whomping Willow. They listen from the hidden passage. Voldemort is talking to Snape. He says the Elder Wand does not work for him properly. He says it answers to the wizard who killed its last master. Snape killed Dumbledore. Voldemort tells Snape he has been a faithful servant. But he He must die for Voldemort to master the wand. Voldemort does not use the killing curse. He swipes his wand. The cage around Nagini rolls forward. The snake strikes. Nagini bites Snape in the neck. Voldemort leaves. Harry enters the room. Snape is slumped against the wall, bleeding out. Harry kneels beside him. He tries to stop the bleeding. It is useless. Snape grabs Harry's robes. He pulls him close. Black memories are leaking from his eyes, ears, and mouth. "Take them," Snape whispers. Harry conjures a flask. He collects the silvery substance. Snape looks at Harry's eyes. The green eyes that are exactly like Lily's. "Look at me," he whispers. The black eyes find the green. And Severus Snape dies. Harry stands up. He has the memories. He has the truth. And Voldemort is waiting.